Cartel Radio Show. We're doing the pre-show launch. I'm gonna play some, actually, some Section 8 Cartel with their song Schizoid.
Take away all the pain. Shoot up the love in your veins. Can you kill me now? Can we work things out? Will I be the last to know? Everyone will feel my curse. Everyone will hurt the most. Everyone will suffer now. While you're 6 feet underground. No one lives. Will ever live it alone. No one lives. Take away all the pain. Shoot up the love in your veins. Can you kill me now? Can we work things out? Will I be the last to know? Everyone will feel my curse. Everyone will hurt the most. Everyone will suffer now. While you're 6 feet underground. No one lives. Will I ever live it alone? We were fighting on this side, forget to feel pain. We were fighting on this side, forget to feel pain. Everyone will feel my curse. Everyone will hurt the most. Everyone will feel my curse. Everyone will hurt the most. Everyone will feel my curse.
Cartel with their song Schizoid. We're doing the pre-show launch before we kick the show off. Be sure to invite whoever's still up. We're doing a late show. What's up, everybody? We got okay. So yeah, we already got the fucking what you call it, the trolls in the chat room. Welcome to the show. Thank you for listening. This next song is again from Section 8 Cartel. This song is called Faded.
Take your hands off my neck. I'll try, but I don't know how. I wish that this was over now. You wanted more and I said no. There's just too much to lose. I know that what we did was wrong. And I'm crossing down that line, 'cause my mind is jaded. And I see in silhouette, 'cause it's complicated. As I look into your eyes, I see nothing's changing. As I toss and turn at night, 'cause my life is fading. Take your hands off my neck. I'll try, but I don't know how. I wish that this was over now. You wanted more and I said no. There's just too much to lose. I know that what we did was wrong. And I'm crossing down that line, 'cause my mind is jaded. And I say in silhouette, 'cause it's complicated. As I look into your eyes, I see nothing's changing. As I toss and turn at night, 'cause my life is fine.
Alright, let's kick the tires and light the fires.
Warning. This show contains mature content. Listener discretion is advised.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
One angry New York City Puerto Rican decided to start a radio show, determined to piss the world off by shoving a mirror in front of society's face. He kicked them in the balls.
What are you? Who are you?
This is the Crotch Shot Radio Show. Crotch Shot Radio Show.
This is not a test. This is a broadcast transmission.
We're going to stay on the air.
And now, the Whippy.
welcome to the Crotch Out Radio Show. We kick the issues in the balls. We are on an active war against bullshit. We would do anything and everything to expose bullshit. The ends sometimes justify the means. So if you're angry and want
My name is Nina Jankowicz, and I am the
whoops, if you're angry and want the truth exposed, strap in and prepare to be shocked. This is Smash Mouth Talk. If you can't accept that, then fuck off. I'm your host, Louis B. I takes no bullshit from nobody. I actually expose the bullshit of society and chop it up into easy to digest chunks for you. Today won't be any different. Today is who's afraid of the big bad free speech. Numero dos. They're at it again. The left is so scared of our free speech that the Biden administration, back in April 22nd, actually decided to come up with a new office under the Department of Homeland Security. You probably already heard about this. It is being called the Ministry of Truth. We got it's called the Disinformation Governance Board, in an effort to combat fake news, also known as the truth on our side. I mean, so what exactly? This is an article by PolitiFact.com. What exactly will the new DHS disinformation government's what exactly will new what the fuck? Oh, sorry. What exactly will new DHS disinformation governance board do? And your boy did some show prep. DHS says the board is a working group that will look for the best ways of tackling disinformation that threaten national security. We all know that what that means. When they say national security in the leftist government, they mean what threatens their narrative. That's basically what that means. What threatens their narrative. There we go. Raise the volume. The responsibility of identifying and responding to disinformation rests with other DHS agencies, while the board will develop guidelines, standards, guardrails, so that the work the agencies do does not infringe on people's free speech rights, rights to privacy, civil rights, and civil liberties, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said. We're going to be talking about him too, because he's a gaslighting some of my bitch. Este pendejo, I'm saying, and the reason why I'm calling him a pendejo, you're gonna find out why. So, the revelation came after Representative Lauren Underwood, Democrat of Illinois, asked Alejandro Mayorkas how DHS is addressing Spanish language mis and disinformation. Mayorkas began his reply saying that DHS is working on the issue and the staff within the department are leading a just recently constituted misinformation disinformation governance board. The goal is to bring the resources of the department together to address this threat. Like, can someone explain this shit? Oh, actually, hold on. Let's turn on the forgot the what you got, like Google Voice. I had to put in the I had to turn on the call-in line. There we go. Got the call-in line. Let's get the boom. Show the caption. There we go. That's the call-in line. If you guys want to call in, the number is 347-927-6824. That number again is 347-927-6824. Um Some Republican lawmakers and social media users soon began referring to the board as the Ministry of Truth, a nod to George Orwell's dystopian novel 1984. Critics questioned the constitutionality of such a group and whether it would infringe on free speech rights protected under the First Amendment. You know that's what they're going to do. Well, you know that I'm who you're gonna see who's behind it. When I talk about who's behind it, it's going to be used against people on the right. It's going to be used against libertarians. It's going to be used against Republicans. It's going to be used against conservatives. It's going to be, they're going to say, oh, well, this is racist. We're going to, this like saying the word "the." Oh my God, disinformation. He said the word "the" wrong. What's all disinformation? So we got you ran. The troll ran away. We had a troll in the chat room and I was gonna have some fun. He ran away. Um so it's gonna be used against elements of the right. It's going to be used against anything that does not fit the left's narrative, the radical left's narrative. Um, and that's why people are comparing it. Like, I mean, they can make all the promises they want, saying, "Oh, it's not going to be used against the American people." Of course, it is. In fact, who leads the disinformation board? The board is made up of leaders from several agencies within the DHS. Nina Jankowicz, the board executive director, has come under scrutiny for conservative critics who claim she's partisan. Critics point to her support for Hillary Clinton during the 2006 campaign and other comments. Okay, to be fair, everyone is biased. I'm biased. Alex Jones is biased. Steven Crowder is biased. Ben Shapiro, he's biased. We're biased, but at least we're honest about us being biased. My bias is based on my personal experience, my personal experience, my personal the stuff that I've learned, what has shaped my thinking. That's what my bias is based on, and I'm going to go off of things that agree with what I have been taught, what I've learned, what my personal beliefs are. So that's not really fair. Like, she's biased. I mean, is it dangerous? Yes, to have something, but to have something like this where you are potentially going to be making rules on how to on calling what's somebody's free speech disinformation. I mean, many people disagree on the coof. I mean, I've this podcast has been blocked on YouTube for a while because of my personal opinions on the coof. The fact that I have to refer to it as a coof to make sure that I don't get fucking censored on YouTube or any other platform is proof that, hey, there's an agenda, because certain elements of the left are able to speak about the coof as long as it fits the narrative. And I mean, if anything, like I talked about last week about Elon Musk and his buying Twitter, and how the left is like going, ah! You know, they're attacking Elon Musk because he bought Twitter, because guess what? Oh shit. Even playing field. Now you're gonna have to deal with our freedom of speech. You're gonna have to deal with our ideas. You're gonna have to combat our ideas with your ideas. And hey, the left's ideas might not be able to hold water. On the other side, the right's ideas might not be able to hold water, but there's an inter-exchange of ideas. And that's what this disinformation governance board is trying to is going to crack down on. It's not if, ands, or buts about it. They're going to crack down on that, so that way everyone thinks the same way, everyone believes the same thing. It's some crazy shit. Back to the article here. Oops. Back to the article here. Oh, let me be careful with this. In an interview with NPR in April, Jankowicz expressed concern over Elon Musk's plans to purchase Twitter. She said she was worried about the effect free speech absolutists might have marginalized communities whose members often face online abuse. I face online abuse for being a fat dude. Like I mean, look at the chat room. You can look at the chat room on my YouTube right now. I was like, you think I give a shit? They're like, go ahead. Oh, I can't deal with people talking shit about me online. Okay, you wanna fucking protect the marginalized people. But the thing is, freedom of speech, they don't seem to think that freedom of speech will go both ways. They could talk shit too. Everybody gets to talk their shit. I mean, that's what freedom of speech is. It's a beautiful thing. Like, honestly, you get to fucking, you get to fucking kick someone's ass. It's like, it's hilarious. It's like we're afraid of freedom of speech because our ideas are not gonna survive. Our ideas are so stupid and dumb and all this. So, anyways, yeah, this next article here. Next article, right, huh? The people behind the DHS Orwellian Disinformation Governance Board. This is by Infowars.com. So take it with a grain of salt. The article by, yep. So article was taken from the US News and World Report. A disinformation governance board has just been created and is going to be run by the Department of Homeland Security. The primary goal is going to be to police what is deemed to be misinformation or disinformation. Jankowicz received, it's going to be, since she's talking about Jankowicz received her MA in Russian, Eurasian, and Eastern European Studies from Georgetown University School for Foreign Service. A full list of staff at the Walsh School of Foreign Service at Georgetown University can be found here. Some current facility members within the Walsh School of Foreign Service are Jankowicz. Jankowicz also spent time previously working with Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars, also called the Wilson Institute, in past as a disinformation fellow. A full list of their staff, whatever. So we got Georgetown University, liberal-minded university. We got, I mean, hey, let me actually play this clip by Tucker. And here, let me Chrome. Here we go. And share. And we do one of these. Coño!
Carlson tonight. When Elon Musk first announced that he was buying Twitter, it was pretty obvious the Democratic Party would soon become unhinged, not just angry or annoyed in the way you're very used to, but instead legitimately terrified and hysterical. Imagine how you'd feel if an armed intruder broke into your home at 3 in the morning. You couldn't exactly know where things were going, but you'd be dead certain that everything was at stake. That's how Democrats feel right now, because in fact, everything is at stake. Joe Biden cannot continue to control this country if you have free access to information. It's that simple. Biden certainly is not improving your life. He's not even trying to improve your life. So the best he can do is lie to you and demand that you believe it. But to do that, he needs to make certain that nobody else can talk, because if you were to hear the truth, you might not obey. How is Biden going to pull that off? It's not easy. Well, one option would be to get men with guns to tell you to shut up. Most Americans probably haven't thought of that because this isn't Africa or Eastern Europe. This is America, and we don't do things like that here and never have. More precisely, we haven't until now. But now Joe Biden is president and everything is different. So today, to herald the coming of the new Soviet America, the administration announced its own Ministry of Truth. This will be called the Disinformation Governance Board. Laugh if you want, but just to show you they're not kidding around here, this board is not part of the State Department or any other agency focused on foreign threats from abroad. No. The Disinformation Governance Board is part of the Department of Homeland Security. DHS is a law enforcement agency designed to police the United States, and that, by the way, has a famously large stockpile of ammunition. So it's not a joke at all. Here's DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
We have just established a Mis and Disinformation Governance Board in the Department of Homeland Security to more effectively combat this threat, not only to election security, but to our homeland security.
Oh, so one of America's top law enforcement officers just announces to the Congress that actually we're going to be policing what you say, and everyone in the room kind of nods, oh yeah, it's totally normal. But here's what he didn't say. So Mayorkas told us that disinformation is a threat to Homeland Security. Now, he's the head of the Department of Homeland Security, so presumably he would know, since assessing threats to Homeland Security is his job. But what he didn't tell us is how he's defining disinformation. So here you have this new and terrifying thing that the Biden administration is so concerned about that has created a new agency to fight it, but Mayorkas never said or even hinted as to what it might be. So the man in charge of the Disinformation Governing Board never defined disinformation. It's almost unbelievable when you think about it. Would you declare war on a country you couldn't name? Would you sentence someone to death for a crime you couldn't describe? Of course you wouldn't, not if you were a sane and decent person.
Yeah.
Because you can't have justice without precise definitions. That's why we have very large books of law that define what is allowed and what is not. But they're not defining the core concept at the heart of what is effectively a new law enforcement agency. Maybe that's because Mayorkas doesn't want justice, and neither does the president he serves. They want power, and to get power, they plan to control what you think. Watch Mayorkas explain.
We have so many different efforts underway to equip local communities to identify individuals who very well could be descending into violence by reason of ideologies of hate, false narratives, or other disinformation and misinformation propagated on social media and other platforms.
Oh, did you know that? So one of our biggest law enforcement agencies has men with guns around the country doing so many things to stop disinformation and false narratives. Those aren't even lies. They're just deviations from the approved script. Mayorkas told us again that men with guns plan to, quote, identify individuals who could be descending into violence, could be descending. Not people who've committed violence or even been accused of any crime at all. DHS is instead using law enforcement powers to identify and punish people who think the wrong things. That would be opponents of the Biden administration. Is this dystopian fiction? No, it's happening right in front of us. That means that Joe Biden's partisan political enemies are now officially enemies of the state. How is this happening in America? Good question, but it is happening. And Biden's new thought cop in chief has been revealed. She's a 33-year-old, highly self-confident young woman called Nina Jankowicz. Jankowicz comes from a place called the Wilson Center. That's a nonprofit named for America's other mentally incapacitated warmonger bigot president. Ironically, because everything is irony, the Wilson Center is itself a major producer of, yes, disinformation, but of the neocon variety, and for that reason is heavily funded by the Biden administration. Jankowicz is also, because everything is connected, a former advisor to the neoliberal government of Ukraine, the government we're shipping tens of billions of tax dollars to as our own economy swirls down the drain. So you really can't.
Word, that fucking pissed me off when I heard about that. $40 billion to Ukraine? Like, here's an idea. How's about you fucking open up the ports so that way we don't have a fucking a what you call a supply chain breakdown. Here's an idea. That $40 billion, how's about we improve our railroad system so that way we can ship goods around the country? You're so environmentally
Can't make any of this up. It's too grotesque. Would you believe a novel with this plot? No, you wouldn't. But it's happening, and that's the bad news. The good news is everyone involved in Joe Biden's new Ministry of Information is a buffoon. They may be evil, but they're also ridiculous. Yep. Nina Jankowicz is the most ridiculous of all. Mm-hmm. So you read about her appointment in the Washington Post this morning, and you immediately thought of the NKVD, because why wouldn't you? Yet even the NKVD, even at the height of Stalin's purges, never did karaoke. They were too dignified for that. But Nina Jankowicz happily does. Here she is.
Information laundering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet. So disinformation's origins are slightly less atrocious. It's how you hide a little lie, little lie. It's how you hide a little lie, little lie. It's how you hide a little lie, little lie. When Rudy Giuliani shared that intel from Ukraine, or when TikTok influencers say COVID can cause pain, they're laundering disinfo when we really should take note and not support their lies with our wallet, voice, or vote. Oh!
So this is the point of the show. We're going to say we're kidding. We're making all of this up. It's not really happening in the country you were born in, but it is happening. That's now a law enforcement official. It's also the person you just saw, an individual who brags about getting a master's degree from Georgetown University. In case you're wondering if the entire academic credentialing machine that sustains America's ruling class is in fact a joke. Spoiler alert, yes, it is a joke. This is somebody with so few useful skills that she describes herself in the first words of her own bio as a, quote, internationally recognized expert on disinformation. As if that's a job of some sort. Imagine if one of your kids grew up to be an internationally recognized expert on disinformation. The shame you would feel. The pain of knowing that truly and unequivocally you had failed as a parent.
Damn.
After all those years of advanced education, Nina Jankowicz became an internationally recognized expert on disinformation. And not only that, she can't even...
Damn, Tucker. Like, geez. Did you really have to bring her family? Did you really have, like, your parent? Her parent did a horrible. Her parent did a horrible job. God damn, Tucker. Damn, he put some stank on that. Like, jeez.
Even rhyme very well.
Ooh.
What Nina Jankowicz can do, her one skill, the purpose for which she was hired.
Yeah, the left can't meme for shit. This is Nina Jankowicz's proof that they can't meme because there's no humor there. It's smugness. That whole song was about her being, I am smarter than you. I'm smarter than you. Like, that's all that was. But there was not one fucking ounce of fact. See, in order to, hey, left here. In order to make a joke funny, it has to have some truth to it. In fact, a lot of truth to it. And when you guys are just outright lying, it just comes off as smugness. It just comes out as you being fucking what you call it? What the fuck is it called? Arrogant. There you go.
Is level partisan attacks on the other side with maximum ferocity. That is her real job. Now, you may have noticed if you listen carefully to the ditty she just sang that every example of disinformation in her karaoke performance came from people who opposed Joe Biden's policies. Is that a coincidence? Probably not. In fact, we know it's not, because Nina Jankowicz is telling all the disinformation is on the other side of the political divide. Listen.
Most of the disinformation that we've seen, this highly emotionally manipulative content, is coming from the right. If you look at the top 10, most engaged with posts on Facebook or Twitter on a given.
The most engaged with. I mean, that should really tell you something, Nina. Like, and honestly, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't think that this disinformation governance board is not going to go after elements of the right to try to silence us, to try to make policies where social media companies shut down, they try to make them shut down right-leaning people's things. What the fuck just happened? Damn it. What the flip? It's there we go. What the fuck happened? Damn it. Now I gotta wait for this damn thing to. All right. So I mean, if you don't think that this is gonna affect elements of the right, I mean, look, she's even showing her biasness. Let me see. Oops. What the fuck is it?
Democratic Party. Now, you'd think that would be illegal in this country as a federal employee because we do have a First Amendment. But Nina Jankowicz doesn't believe in the First Amendment. As she wrote recently, quote, "The free speech versus censorship framing is a false dichotomy." First of all, here's a pro tip. Anyone who uses the term false dichotomy is a moron, okay? That is one of countless academic
coming from the right. And that's because the right does deal in this highly emotional rhetoric.
You'd have to live in a self-awareness-free vacuum. You might even have to go to Georgetown University to utter a sentence like that. The right deals in this highly emotional rhetoric, says Nina Jankowicz. Now, it's worth noting here, because we can't resist, that this very same Nina Jankowicz once wrote an entire book about how women can't use the internet because it's just too upsetting for them. They're too fragile to read words they disagree with. It makes them faint. Here's a direct quote from Nina Jankowicz's book. Quote, "To be a woman online is an inherently dangerous act." Keep in mind, if you're a lady and you were to, I don't know, order Uber Eats, you're exposing yourself to danger. This is the same woman, Nina Jankowicz, telling you that it's the right that uses emotional rhetoric. Now, to be fair, Nina Jankowicz probably didn't expect a lot of people to read that in her book because no one read her book. It has a total of 2 reviews on Amazon. But we did read it. We'll get in a moment to what we found because it tells you exactly what we can expect from our new Ministry of Truth under Nina Jankowicz. But first, it's necessary to know a little more about this person. Now, she's not simply a hypocrite. She obviously is, whether she knows it or not. She would be too dim to understand hypocrisy. What she really is, of course, is a heavy for the Democratic Party, and she's done that job flawlessly. Nina Jankowicz, the disinformation hunter, once called the Hunter Biden laptop story, which is entirely true, a, quote, Trump campaign product. In October of 2020, she wrote, quote, "Voters deserve the context, not a fairy tale about a laptop repair shop."
Sure.
Now, did she give us the context or any countervailing facts? Did she deliver the truth about that story? No, of course not. She just read a bunch of lies somebody handed to her on a card because she's a useful idiot. And now she's a law enforcement official. Nina Jankowicz is repeating a lie that was, of course, widespread on the eve of the presidential election. And when she repeated it, it made it possible for Joe Biden to repeat it on the debate stage during a presidential debate. In case you've forgotten, here he is.
There are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plant. They have said that this has all the 5 former heads of the CIA, both parties say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage. Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
And that's exactly what.
Is this
that's
where you
exactly what.
This is
told.
where.
I'm going to add. Okay, so just to be clear, this is a nightmare unfolding in slow motion, but this is the point where we're just going to have to draw the line.
Yeah.
No, Joe Biden, you can't have a federally funded Ministry of Truth. And no, Nina Jankowicz can't run it.
Nope.
Period. It's not your country. You're not even Compass Menace, and you don't get to do this.
And for the sake of fairness, the right shouldn't have a Ministry of Truth. I'm a free speech absolutist like Elon Musk. Let everyone talk. Let the best ideas live.
To a free people, period. This can't happen. And what is this? Well, if you want to know what's going to happen, look at what just did happen. So Nina Jankowicz made it possible for a presidential candidate to lie from the debate stage about a story that may have changed the outcome of election. Our election, our presidential election, speaking of disinformation. She never apologized for that. That's because her role has nothing to do with the truth or stopping disinformation. Her job is to restrict any speech that challenges Joe Biden or the Democratic Party. Now, you'd think that would be illegal in this country as a federal employee because we do have a First Amendment. But Nina Jankowicz doesn't believe in the First Amendment. As she wrote recently, quote, "The free speech versus censorship framing is a false dichotomy." First of all, here's a pro tip. Anyone who uses the term false dichotomy is a moron, okay? That is one of countless academic phrases designed to prevent thought rather than facilitate it. False dichotomy means they're never going to have to explain why their position is correct or yours is wrong. They just dismiss with, oh, it's a false dichotomy. Again, that's an NPR phrase used by low IQ people who for some reason run our country all of a sudden. False dichotomy. Here's what's not false at all. Government censorship is banned by the First Amendment. The First Amendment to the Bill of Rights. This whole country is predicated on that. But according to Joe Biden's new Minister of Truth, the First Amendment no longer applies in this country because Russia and systemic racism. Watch.
It's clear that actors like Russia are using those internal fissures, things like our systemic racism here in the United States, things like economic inequality, to amplify these issues and really make us distrust the system.
So we reached out to DHS, the law enforcement agency now in charge of policing speech, about Nina Jankowicz and her plans to censor you from saying what you think is true. And they assured us that they weren't going to do that. They're going to focus on human smuggling and Russia propaganda on Ukraine. First of all,
okay, first of all, after 9/11, we had the Patriot Act, which should be abolished immediately. They said, oh, this was going to be used against the terrorists. Nope. It was used against the American people. The CIA, it was supposed to be used for foreign threats. Nope. It's used against the American people. Trust me, anything they come up with and they say that is supposed to guard against external threats is eventually used against the American people. So if you don't think that this department, that this Ministry of Truth is not going to be used against the American people, I have a fucking bum that will fucking pick cotton for you that I'm gonna sell you. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, let me finish this video and I will move on with other articles.
it's not their job to decide what you learn about the border or Russia or Ukraine. It's your job. You're an adult. You can read whatever you want.
Exactly.
But of course, it's not about that anyway. If you read Jankowicz's book, which we did, you will realize very quickly she was hired to police domestic social media use, period. Quote, "I have hope we can change the norms by which our online ecosystem is governed," she wrote in a typically illiterate sentence. This is what our colleges are producing. Morons who can't even write English. Later in the book, she encourages women to go to law enforcement if they...
Actually, we got, okay, well, that got more. Actually, we got something, some more from Tucker. I mean, more from Nina, and we'll move on. That was Tucker. So, oh wait, what's this? Oh, snap! They animated her.
the aliens may bring to us the wisdom of the universe. If not, we'll blast them.
I am moron. I come with a important message for all mankind.
And what is that message?
Yep.
I am moron.
Do you come in peace or war?
Ooh. I am moron.
What is your purpose here?
Yep.
Wow! I am moron.
Let me try something. Tell us, what is 2 plus 2?
Yeah, 22. I am moron.
We can pretty much rule out the wisdom of the universe.
Then let's blast
them. Right. So yeah, we're pretty much fucked. So anyways, let me continue going. We got 10 minutes left. So and it doesn't end with Nina Jankowicz. We have fellow Latino Cuban national Alejandro Mayorkas. He gaslights disinformation board, won't police free speech or monitor Americans, but cannot fucking say what they will do. Won't even define what they will do. Won't even define what their job is. This is from Infowars.com. Republicans are calling the Orwellian, everyone knows. Mayorkas admitted the DHS would have done a better job communicating the disinformation on board's purposes, claiming the criticisms by Republicans are the opposite of what the board will do. It is clear, those criticisms are precisely the opposite of what this a small working group within the Department of Homeland Security will do. Mayorkas said, and America said, and I think probably could have done a better job of communicating what it does and what does it not do. But you haven't defined what you will do. And honestly, as a Cuban national that escaped Fidel Castro, what the fuck are you doing, brother? Manito, ¿qué tú haces? Like, tell me, what the fuck are you doing? This is fucking socialism, brother. Why are you bringing that shit here? You come and you escape it. You have you make a life for yourself here. You do good. You fucking end up in the Department of Homeland Security, and you bring this bullshit here. Like, you're a fucking traitor to the race. I'm sorry. I can say that shit. I can actually say that shit. Alejandro, you are a fucking traitor to the race. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can't even, again, just go read this. It's Bash asked again, will American citizens be monitored? Mayorkas said the board is meant to monitor cartels and foreign adversaries, not American citizens. No, no, the board does not have any operational capability. Mayorkas said what it will do is gather together the best practices in addressing but the thing is, what they're going to do is they're going to make policies that will be used on social media, and that's how they will do it. That's how they will get around that. That's what they'll do. But hey, he wants to gaslight. He's like, that's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. It's stupid that you think that about this. But hey, luckily, I mean, now there's another federal the FCC. The FCC won't let me be me on MTV. So, anyways, the FCC commission says Biden's disinformation board is unconstitutional. FCC Commissioner Brandon Carr blasted the Department of Homeland Security's new disinformation governance board to combat online disinformation on Monday, calling it Orwellian, un-American, and unconstitutional. Carr made the argument on Morning with Maria on Monday, stressing that the disinformation board should be shut down. He also argued that there is a broader game afoot. Carr provided an example. You have White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki from the White House podium saying they are coordinating with big tech to take down posts, flagging posts for them. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas announced during testimony late last month before the House Appropriations Subcommittee on Homeland Security the DHS had created a disinformation governance board. The goal is to bring resources of the DHS together to address the threat, Mayorkas said during the hearing, adding that the department is focused on the spread of disinformation in minority communities ahead of the 2022 midterm elections. So it's not going to be used against the American people, but it's going to be used against the American people. Hey, Spanish speaking people that are here legally, they're American people. It's going to be used against them. You're going to vote Republican? You shouldn't do that. No hago de eso, no hace de eso. Vote Democrat. So, anyways, Leslie Rutledge weighs in as the GOP-led states threaten legal action against the DHS Disinformation Governance Board on Fox Business Tonight. In fact, Republican-led states are threatening legal action against the Department of Homeland Security's new Disinformation Governance Board, which they also deem un-American and chilling to the free speech of American citizens. Virginia Attorney General Jason Meares is leading the GOP attorneys general in sending a letter to Mayorkas demanding that the department cease taking action contributing to the chilling effect on free speech. This is unacceptable and downright alarming encroachment on every citizen's right to express his or her opinions, engage in political debates, and disagree with the government, wrote the 20 attorney. Also disagree with, like, it's not just the government, disagree with elements of LGBTQ, disagree with freaking what you call it, disagree with Black Lives Matter, disagree, like, what the fuck. So I mean, you got, but really, what just let me just go get this done. But really, when it comes down to it, this is in this article right here by Infowars. Leftists hate free speech because they fear dissent, not disinformation. I think one of the most bizarre social developments of the past 10 years in the US has been the show the slow but steady shift of the political left as opposed to defenders of free speech to enemies of free speech. Yeah, that reminds me. Back in the early 2000s, it was Republicans that were trying to censor everyone, and people hated it. I hated it. I hated that because some of my favorite radio show hosts got caught up. They were in the whole cancel culture. Everyone seems to forget Republicans started cancel culture. They're the ones that were trying to get people fired, to do letter writing campaigns on people's what you call it, sponsors and all that, to get them kicked off of air. They're the ones that started that shit. I mean, and it was always the few that and like, see, this is the thing. This is the problem. Hey, majority, wake the fuck up. It's time for us to raise our voices and say hell to the no. Hell to no. To the no, 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 no. Absolutely not. Let's cut the shit and get her done. Let's not do this shit. So, anyways. But yeah, the left hates freaking free speech. They don't want to have to defend their ideas because they know that their ideas are shit, are complete shite. But anyways, that's all I got today. Like to thank you all for listening, watching. Please help the show out by shopping on Amazon. Use my Amazon link. Go to tinyurl.com/Louis B. The prices stay the same. It's just I get credit for the sale from whatever you buy, and every dime will go back to improving this show yeah. So, anyways, because it takes money, because I got to print up. I got a printer right there. I got the paper, the toner. Help me out. Go to crotchoutradio.xyz. That's crotchoutradio.xyz. Check it out. Also, I did some audio only podcast, so you could find them on every podcast platform, and just download. Tell your friends, tell your family, download the show. Play it for your priest, your pastor, your rabbi. Like, show them the Crotch Out Radio Show. Let them know that it's fun. So, anyways, like to thank everyone for listening. Thank you for watching. Tell everyone. So, this is my name's Louis B. This has been the Crotch Out Radio Show, and as always, from my house to your house, mahalo.
That's the end of my show. Donk.
Seems an issue all day and every turn. What's the next step?